Good afternoon. Reverend Dr. Kwong, Headmaster Chang, members of the School Management Committee, students, parents, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank each of you, for inviting me here to your speech day occasion. Before I even start, I'd just like you to know today is exactly 40 years ago that I stepped on foot on your campus. Because 40 years ago, I was just like some of you, a student. I was actually being interviewed here, I think somewhere in this building. And I got accepted to DBS as a boarder. And the only reason why it stopped me from actually coming here at the end was the distance. Now you might think that, what distance? But back 40 years ago, my home is still in Happy Valley. It was in Happy Valley 40 years ago. And from Happy Valley to DBS is a very long distance. I got to take a ferry here because there's no harbor tunnel. In fact, that was the only one reason. I think at the end, my grandmother decided that this is too far as a boarder. So she don't get to see me until the weekend, and the weekend is a long journey for me to come back. So that's exactly the reason how I never got to be a part of DBS. So today, I want to thank each of you for giving me this opportunity after 40 years. To step foot right in front of your campus. As I was coming through the driveway, I said, God, I still remember that. I still remember vividly, because I remember the soccer field. It was nothing like that anywhere else I've seen. So it's a good memory for allowing me to reconnect. Well, in a city and a world where change is so rapid, it's amazing to think that the DBS can trace its history back almost 150 years. Now, the population of Hong Kong at the time would have been less than 150,000. There are very few surviving buildings in Hong Kong Island from that era. Well, they will include the St. John Cathedral, the Stanley Police Station, the Manmo Temple, and parts of the Central Police Station compound. Well, some of my public service work involves heritage issues, especially things like these old examples of architectures. There are very few examples of these structures nowadays. However, although your buildings here are newer, only 90 years, and it is still, however, an institution like DBS is very valuable as a link to the past. The most important thing to our lives and our society are the things you cannot touch. If you lose the building or even a valuable treasure, you can always replace it in some way. But you cannot do that with the institutions, the ideas and the value which we have inherited from the past. And a school like DBS and its heart committed to keeping the vital ideas and core values alive. It keeps them alive by passing them on to each generation. I was fortunate to receive a copy of your history, the history of DBS, to serve and to lead. And I was very interested to see that the authors highlighted the school mission as ensuring a liberal education. Indeed, they clearly took care to describe many outstanding old boys of DBS as a product of a liberal art education. This is a very important subject to me. As Reverend Dr. Kong alluded to early on, I went to a liberal art college in the US, Pomona College in California. By the way, incidentally, my roommate at Pomona throughout all 4 years was a DBS graduate. So you can actually imagine, even though I've never been here, but I have enough from him about how great the school is. And from 2008 to 2014, I was also the chairman of the Council of Ningnan University. One of the very few liberal arts, liberal art university, not only in Hong Kong, but actually in Asia. So my degree at Pomona was, by the way, now, Headmaster Chang alluded to the little things and career, all these things. But let me tell you, did you know what I graduated in? My degree was in studio art. In other words, I'm a painter. Now that makes me very unusual for someone in Hong Kong business world and someone who has been in local politics. Now you may ask, how on earth did I choose studio art of all degrees? No, I didn't. It wasn't my choice. No, my parents didn't force me. What happened was, of course, like most students from Hong Kong, well, either in economics, in science, or in medicine. So in my case, I, of course, took up economics. But then, things didn't really happen my way. So 2 weeks into my freshman year in college, I got ill. Well, it turns out that it was more than just an illness. I spent the next 3 years in and out of hospital. So basically, I attend college one semester, and the second semester, I'm in the hospital for 3 years in a row. So, because I'd gone through multiple surgeries, bypass operations, and so on and so on. So, but at the start, I still thought I can still make up the time and finish in 4 years. So I was looking at the syllabus of the college and said, well, what else can I study? Why am I actually off campus recuperating at home? Oh, studio art. I can do that at home. So that sounds like an easy degree, an easy subject to study. I never thought that I was ever going to graduate in it because I thought it was just a temporary thing. But turns out that this whole illness issue kept lingering around for quite some time. So anyway, so by the time I came back in my fourth year, by then I knew for sure that I was never going to be able to graduate with my class. And I thought, well, what should I do? So by then, I have, quite a number of credit in studio art, as well as in economics. Then I asked myself exactly where my heart tells me, which subject should I pursue as a degree? Now, of course, if I do care about how people think of me, then of course economics. Can you imagine if I come back to Hong Kong and I've been introduced to friends and you tell them that, oh, I'm a painter. By the way, it's not painter. Studio art, well, I still have to study other subjects too at the liberal art college. But that's the perception, right? But then I thought, well, I got to true to my heart. So I followed my heart and I chose studio art. I finished as a studio art. I'm not so sure. My work, that depends. You can go to my website, it's myname.com. You can go to my website to check it out. I'm pretty sure that my work will never get into the Museum of Modern Art in New York, or maybe even in the Fringe Club in Hong Kong. But that's not the point. The point is not how good my paintings are, it's the process, the creative thinking, and their efforts to look at things in different ways, and to think out of the box. Why have to think out of the box? Well, at the year of my graduation, there were a total of 7 graduates, including myself as a studio art major. Unfortunately, I think I'm the only one who basically have no inherited skills, or maybe you can say, I wasn't born with that sort of talent. I just parachute to this degree. My 6 other classmates, they're all very good. One is in painting, one is in drawing, one is in sculpture, one is in ceramics, one is in photography, and the last one is in mixed media. Mixed media today will be considered as computer graphics. So each of them have possessed their own unique talent. I have none. So basically, I really didn't have a choice. I have to force myself to think out of the box, right? Because what is my senior thesis? When it's not a report. Our senior thesis as a studio art graduate is a presentation of your artwork. So can you imagine if I choose any of the subjects, one of those 6 others, I would definitely be in trouble. So I decided I have to do something very different. Well, how to be different? Easy said than done. I try and error. That's actually, by the way, it's not part of my speech, so I may be deviating too long here. But I want to tell you, so how do I think of that box? So somehow I came to this idea, why don't we do dot painting? Because nobody else is doing dot. And why nobody is doing dot? Because it takes too long. So I figured doing dot is great. So I start off doing a big canvas, 5 feet by 4 feet canvas, dot painting with acrylic. The trouble is, it took me 3 months to finish one painting. And I need at least 5 to 6 to graduate. So with that in mind, I know I cannot do this 5 by 4 canvas. So I decide from a 5 feet by 4 feet canvas, I reduce it to 18 inch by 24 inch illustration board using magic markers. I figured that would save me a lot of time. But turns out, even a magic marker 18 inch by 24 inches takes too long. So I thought, okay, forget about colors. Just stick to black and white. It will save you more time. So from color, magic markers to a black and white. So basically a white board with black ink. Well, I tried that out. It turns out if you try to use a black felt pen and do the dots on the white paper, it's still too long. Okay, so I figured, well, if I'm going to use all these black dot to fill up, black dot filling up the white paper, so why don't I get black paper and use the white dot? It would save you even more time, so I can graduate. Brilliant idea. The problem is, 30 years ago, there are not very many medium you can use as the white medium that opaque enough. So again, try and error, I finally found one. And you know what that is? Some of those who know my story will probably know the answer. I use whiteout, correctional fluid, the white one. Huh? And obviously, no one else ever tried that because it's toxic if you keep using it for too long. But hey, listen, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was pretty cool. It's very interesting. So at my graduation, hundreds of people came by to look at the work of the graduates. And I'm pretty sure most of them that came by my little corner, I'm not sure any one of them ever told me that my work is excellent, my work is good or beautiful, but I'm pretty sure they all say the same thing. Wow, this is so different. What is it? Hey, but I think that was wonderful because I am different. And that's how it helps me to think out of the box. Now, how do I apply that to my work today? It applies to me every day when I have to think about a solution for my business or for the political world, because there is no right answer for most of the time. You need to think out of the box. So do not underestimate any opportunity that comes across your life. You just never know, that one day you might apply them. So keep looking at it now. Again, now my trouble is how to follow back to my script because it deviates so far away now. But anyway, I think you get the point. Now, both in my years in high school and in college, I was exposed to small classes with extensive debate and discussion among students and teachers. And the residential system put me in a community of new people from very different backgrounds. These experiences gave me the various soft skills that are really helpful in my business world and in politics and in public service. Obviously, being able to get on with people is important, but my time at college really highlighted the importance of listening to other people's viewpoints. This has really helped me accept that people hold conflicting opinions and how we can be flexible and work to achieve agreement and consensus. It has helped me to look past simply things as competition and look for opportunities through cooperation and teamwork. So I like to spread the word in Hong Kong about the value of a liberal education and the importance of young people receiving a broad grounding in ideas and experiences. Obviously, you do need to acquire skills of literacy, and this starts at primary school. And many of us need to acquire specific, detailed technical knowledge later in life, which is why we have medical schools, law school, and MBA courses. I would also like to add that factual knowledge is easier and cheaper to acquire than ever. Now, if you check out websites like the Khan Academy, you can find completely free high-quality video tutorial in every academic subject. Universities like Harvard are putting whole courses of lectures and materials on the internet, free of charge, to anyone, anywhere in the world. So you do not have to spend a lot of money simply to learn academic subjects. But my point is that we also need certain non-academic abilities and aptitudes. You cannot learn them like ABC or 1, 2, 3. They do not come in set of package of technical informations or in the form of theories or even as case studies. I'm talking about the ability to think critically, to analyze and use reason. The power to exercise good judgment and responsibility. The habit of respecting others and considering different views. This is something our community needs to remember. To many people in Hong Kong, education is largely about preparing young people for careers and material success. Our whole community has embraced this idea that life is simply a competition for status, measured in a very narrow ways, and education is a key to winning or losing. The result is intense pressure, even on small children, to absorb information and pass exams. Parents, and therefore many schools, put all their focus on very limited specific aims, essentially exam results. At best, there's a risk that young people learn facts but do not understand what the facts mean or how to apply them. There is a real chance that young people come out of this with a dislike of learning. At worst, we see tragedies with children cannot handle the stress. Full liberal education is about a balance. Of course, you need to study and work hard, and you need to learn. But you need to learn in the way that develops your whole personality, your character. As your headmaster Chang alluded to, these are the small things. So it's not just about the exam result. You need to learn in a way that will develop your whole personality and character. You need discussion and interaction with your classmates and with your teachers and with other members of the community. You need to nurture respect for others, acceptance of different views. You have to learn through experience to be accountable for what you say and do. You need to understand the idea of shared responsibilities and an understanding of the responsibilities that comes with freedom and with leadership and influence. These things do not simply come from a book, and you cannot test them in exams. Our young people need to build up the knowledge, but they need to put facts in context. For example, what has been the influence of chemistry on human history? How are the economics of Hong Kong affected by the city geography? We live in a very complex world, and no single subject will enable us to solve the problems that face our society. We need to bring together very different ideas and concepts in the workplace and the civic and political world of the community and nation and beyond. Ultimately, today's students will be living and working in a multicultural and international world. Their education must equip them to survive and succeed in a pluralistic and innovative environment. Tolerance and appreciation of diversity will be just as important as a diploma or a degree. I'm not just saying these things because I have a liberal arts background or because myself as a parent. I have to ask myself how best to educate my own children. I'm really speaking as an employer and a part of the Hong Kong business community with an interest in how our society is developing. The next generation will need to be constantly exploring, broadening, and adapting their skills. We live in a world where technology is changing industries and lives. It feels as if every 5 years, a new application comes along and threatens a model that goes back decades and centuries. Airbnb is threatening traditional markets for hotels and for long-term residential lettings. Online marketing is undermining old retailing models. Automated vehicles might put commercial drivers out of business. I can't even tell 10 years from now whether my business will survive. And we live in a world that is overflowing in data and information, but perhaps lacking in creative ideas about how to use it. For example, there has recently been a surge in the number of liberal arts graduates being hired in Silicon Valley. Tech companies have amazing logical engineers writing code and developing systems, but they certainly need soft skills, communication skills, out-of-the-box thinking to help with marketing, HR, customer research, humanity-based input into their product design. My message is this: more than ever, our society needs people, workers, and citizens with the benefits of a strong liberal education. And DBS is a role model for Hong Kong in this respect. The long and distinguished list of alumni from the school shows the benefits of an all-rounded, balanced education. It is so important that you continue to set this valuable example in a city where we are perhaps in danger of missing the point of education. To the leadership of DBS, and the teachers and the students and parents, please build on this past success. To our graduating students, best of luck in your future endeavor. I wish each of you every success in your future. Thank you very much.